Okay, I feel like I have to address this. My neighbors have been having a great day frustrating my life. I've been trying to shoot this video since forever. So right now I'm just so it feels like anytime I'm about to get serious and just shoot there, like this is the time to play the loudest music. Let us frustrate the life. I'm just joking. They have no idea that I am actually shooting. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Can you believe this, guys? This is video number 2. Video number 2. You know, when I was shooting my first video, I was a nervous wreck. Like, I bit my nails even more than I usually do, and that is a disaster. And I thought, okay, why not slap on some nail polish that will make it better? I was visibly shaking. Like, once the camera is on, once the lights and everything is on me, I have the words in my head, but my mouth will just be. I still do that now, but I feel like it's my second video, and I want to tell myself that I am improving. It's not like I'm reading the news anymore. I feel like I am getting better because I've been practicing, and yes, it doesn't come easy to everyone. Before I get into today's terrifying case, I'd like to give a major disclaimer. This video is not in any way meant to offend anyone, especially not the victims and their families. This video is for educational purposes, and I just like sharing my views on issues like this. Now that all that's out of the way, let's get into today's video. Today we're going to be talking about a child killer, a child who kills, and a child that's a killer. A child who kills children and a child as a killer. I don't know why I'm focusing on that. I have no idea. I should not be. Anyway, you know, when you think about killers, most times you do not think about children. When you think about children, you think about playful, making fun of different things, getting on your nerves. But you do not think about they can also kill me. You don't say, okay, children, these are children, right? And they can also kill me. You're not thinking that. So that is why when you watch videos like this, and when you read of stuff about child killers, it's like the reality. You cannot just reconcile yourself with that kind of a reality. But sadly, it does happen. And today we're going to be talking about Jesse Harding Pomeroy, who was a child killer that killed 2 little children and abused a host of others. Jesse Harding Pomeroy was born on the 29th of November 1859 in Charlestown, Massachusetts. He was interested in novels, and he was described by one of his teachers as peculiar, intractable, not bad, difficult to understand. And I feel like those are some of the terms that will be used to describe me if you ask anyone who taught me, and I don't know why I am saying this. He hated being corrected. Like, he would do something wrong and just expect everyone to let it slide. He didn't believe that he should be punished for his wrongdoings. His mother, Ruth Pomeroy, was a shop owner, and I believe she was also a trader. Now, not much is known about his mother's occupation. His father, Thomas Pomeroy, however, was a civil servant veteran who worked in Charlestown Naval Yard for many years. He had just one sibling, Charles Pomeroy, and Charles was Jesse's elder brother. We don't know much about Charles' life, but we do know that he was older than Jesse. When Pomeroy was just a little baby, he developed what at the time was known as humor. Now, I tried to research this, but the more I did, the more confused I got. So if there's someone who knows this stuff better, please just explain for us in the comment section. Thank you. However, after he had recovered from this disease, his right pupil that had already been scarred would then be covered in a thick white film for the rest of his life, and that led to him being bullied. Pomeroy's childhood struggles at home remain a debate, as some historians are certain that his father was an abusive man who would beat his children unnecessarily. Allegedly, Thomas Pomeroy would strip them down naked and beat them with a horsewhip on a regular basis, while other historians believe that Jesse and his elder brother Charles had a relatively normal upbringing. Pomeroy was just 5 years old when his neighbor accused him of killing a cat. According to the neighbor, he had stabbed the cat and thrown its bloodied corpse into the river. Pause. I think I'm going to introduce like this pause moment in my videos where I can just say my mind, because I don't want to be saying this when I'm saying something serious. I don't want to be thinking about it when I'm saying something serious and just like, I don't know, I sound like I have no control. I should not sound like that. Anyway, when I read this, because you know, whenever people are talking about serial killers, they were like, there were signs, and more often than not, those signs are actually things like, growing up, he hated animals. He killed animals. I was about to say animals. My Yoruba just came walking through. He killed animals, or she killed animals. Like those are what you use when you are. Those are one of the like the first signs to know that okay, something is wrong. But this makes me see how different our cultures are, because in Nigeria, I mean, killing animals like dogs, it's frowned upon, but it's not something that people would just say, okay, that is a red flag, that is a bad sign right there. Killing cats, you would probably like be praised. You killed a cat. In Nigeria, most people are afraid of cats. Like when I was growing up, there were like stray cats that came around my compound, and my mom would be panicking. She would be praying, because to them, these cats, they are witches, right? And I don't know, I don't want to get into it. Right now, I think that the misconceptions are changing. Not the beliefs are changing, and people are now having cats. I know a few people who have cats as pets, and nobody is trying to grab their cats and kill them or anything. So why did I do like that for kill them? So yeah. Around Charlestown, children were reporting of how they were being beaten and sexually assaulted by a larger boy. According to them, he would lure them away with promises of sweets and nice things. He would then violate them sexually and disfigure their faces and genitals with knives and pins. These children could give a description of their attacker. His description was then published in the Boston Globe, and immediately Ruth Pomeroy will recognize her son in these publications, and he was now being referred to as the boy torturer and the red devil. Even though Ruth Pomeroy knew that her son was like this red devil and boy torturer they were describing in these publications, newspaper publications, she did not turn him in to the authorities. You want to know what she did? She packed up her family and they all moved to South Boston, Perth. Now I want to Perth. What is Perth? I don't know what accent that is, but it's definitely not my Perth. Perth. So I want to quickly like drop like a question, right? I know as parents we have this. What am I saying as parents? Like I am a parent, but I feel like if I were a parent, I would feel the need to protect my child. So I know we have parents out there that will be watching this. So what do you feel? What do you feel if this was your child that was being talked about, that was sexually assaulting children and beating them? Like what would be your reaction? Would you immediately just no, you can't be in my house, and turn them over to the authorities, or would you like still want to protect them and move them away, or just send them to boarding school? Just do something, anything to make sure that they are not taken away and put in prison or juvie. What would you do as a parent, like mom, dad? What would you do? In August of 1872, a boy was found on the beach and he had been tortured. In September of that same year, another victim was found beaten, raped, and tied to a telephone post. One victim told the authorities that his attacker had a marbleized eye, and this quickly led the authorities to the now 13-year-old Jesse Pomeroy. He was then arrested and sentenced to 6 years at the State Reform School in Westboro. But somehow, his mother, and this just infuriates me, this woman managed, the same woman that moved him away so that he doesn't get caught, was the same woman that managed, I don't even know how she did it, but she managed to get him released within months. So like he didn't even get to spend like his full sentence, not even a year or two or three, few months. And I'm just like, wow. The consequences of his early release proved to be fatal. In March of 1874, Captain Mary Coran, who was a 10-year-old little girl, disappeared from her home. She was last seen at Ruth Pomeroy's shop, and since Jesse Pomeroy worked there, the authorities swung right into action and he became top on their suspect list. They questioned him and searched the shop. Apparently they searched it. Just keep that in mind. I'm going to say apparently they searched it because a discovery later was just like, what were you guys doing? But apparently they searched the shop, and according to them, they found nothing, absolutely nothing incriminating. 5 weeks later, Pomeroy's boot print was found next to the body of Horace Millen. He was a 4-year-old little boy who had been nearly decapitated and dumped on the beach. When the authorities went to question Pomeroy about this boot print, he had scratches on his skin and blood on his clothes. Jesse Harding Pomeroy was then arrested on the 24th of April 1874 after he confessed to killing the little boy Horace Millen. Soon after his confession, the decomposing body of Captain Mary Coran was found. After Pomeroy was arrested, his mother was strapped for cash, Ruth Pomeroy, and she decided, okay, well, let me sell my shop, right? And so the new owners in the basement, they found the body, the corpse of Captain Mary Coran. Remember Captain Mary Coran, right? The 10-year-old girl that the authorities searched the shop for, and they did not see her, blah blah blah, and she was in the basement. So this new owners rushed to like let the authorities know. But I just need to know, when they were searching the first time, is it like they searched like back the cabinet and what have you, the shelves in the shop, but did not search the basement? Like everybody knows it's the basement. Search. I don't get it. I do not get it. Like, was it that when they were searching, they just got tired? I'm like, okay, now that we're done with this shop, no need to get down there, because definitely they cannot hide something down there. But you see, right in this shop where everyone can see every corner, this shop, this is where they will hide a body, not in the basement. Like, so smart. I mean, they were so freaking genius. Pomeroy yet again confessed to killing this little girl, and his trial began on the 9th of December 1874, right after his 15th birthday, and ended the next day. Although the jury denied the defense insanity plea, they were lenient because of Pomeroy's age. However, the judge was not having it. It disagreed with their leniency, and he sentenced Pomeroy to death. He was like, you did the crime, you gotta do the time. I don't know why my voice sounded sing-songy. But anyway, the governor's office, they didn't want to sentence Pomeroy to death because of his age, so they denied the judge's order of execution. 2 years and 3 separate votes later, Pomeroy was sentenced to life in solitary confinement. The now soon-to-be 17-year-old was incarcerated in Massachusetts State Prison on the 7th of September 1876. While in prison, Pomeroy would try to escape at least a dozen times, and surprisingly, one of these escape plans was almost a success. He had rerouted the gas pipes in his cell to trigger an explosion, and he did get an explosion, but probably not the one he was expecting, because after this incident, he was left decapitated. I don't know why I'm smiling. He was a killer, guys. He was a killer. Oh my God. He spent his time in prison writing poetry, learning several languages, and allegedly invested in the stock market. So wise choice. That is what I would do. I don't know why I said that out loud. He was transferred to the state prison farm in Bridgewater, Massachusetts to spend the rest of his miserable life. 3 years after the transfer, he died of a heart attack on the 29th of September 1932 at the age of 72. Jesse Harding Pomeroy became the youngest person to be convicted of first-degree murder in Massachusetts in the year 1874. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Pause. I feel like I have to address this because there are going to be people in the comment section saying blah blah blah. A serial killer needs to have killed at least 3 people to be considered a serial killer. Blah blah blah. I am just joking. There's no one in the comment section. Sad. I am just starting sad. Anyway, I read an article when I was researching this case, and the article said, according to the American Psychological Association, what is considered the hallmark of serial killers is a distinct pattern in the selection of victims, location, and method. And I feel like that fits the Pomeroy case. So, yes. Now I can see. That brings us to the end of today's video. That brings us to the end of today's video. Why am I everywhere? That brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you watch until the end, and I hope to see you for the next one.